Hey all, welcome back. I hope you're doing well. And I say that knowing that the markets right now are absolutely not doing well. And so that means that we're not doing well. And I know there's people doing far worse than I am. So I say that, my heart goes out to all those that are definitely losing a lot of money right now because I know that's just a stressful, bad place to be in right now. If you ever need to talk to somebody, please shoot me a message down in the comments, leave some information there. You can, shoot me an email. My email is on the YouTube channel in the About section. Feel free, reach out. I don't mind touching base with anybody. Of course, if you happen to be on the Sleep Money Club, if you're in there, shoot me a message and you can talk to anybody in there as well. We're always willing to help because I know those are tough times for everybody. So, with that being said, I hope you're going to come out of this unscathed or at least less unscathed or go from real bad to good. And so today's topic of the video is I wanted to do this still because you can see here soon where my nodes are. So we're going to look at my node project. I'm going to do an update from last month. I like to do this every month to see where all those node projects are that I've been in and any new ones that I've joined in. So of course I'm still in node projects during this time, like a lot of other people. We got into those and we want to see how we are right now. And I want to show you my real numbers because I don't want to just make it seem like I'm making all this income that of course I'm not. If you're watching this, you know exactly how this is in some of these node projects and I want to review that. This is going to be from last month, but I'm late on this video, so it's going to tie into this month as well. And we'll hit all that now and jump right into it. So first, let me say I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say here should be financial advice. You've got to do your own research and make your own decisions on your own finances. But of course, you're watching this with the intent to actually understand these projects better. And that's what I try to provide here. I just give my journey in this DeFi area with these node projects so you know what I'm doing. But please do your own research. Like I said, you got to know and understand what you're putting your money into. And I'll give you some perspective later on as well with how much I actually have in these investments. Of course, tying into that, state of the markets, the sentiment on the market, we know it's not good right now. I said in the very beginning of the video. I hope that you take that into perspective when you look at this as well. I did a video kind of centered around where I'm going with this, but check it out right up there on the card. So basically the state of node projects, where we are in this node season. So that already, puts into place that perspective. So where node projects are, the issues with them, right? And now you've got the market with where everything's going there. Those two things tied together with some of the node projects suffering and trying to find even footing, or what I talked about in that video, are they drowning, right? So you've already got that, plus the market sentiment and everything going on there. Those two things combined do not spell good things for node projects, much less the rest of the investments you might have in DeFi, whatever it may be. So those two things combined are pushing these down even further because there's less people getting invested in them. And we're going to explore all that as we go into this and see how all my projects are doing and what exactly they're affected by. So we're going to start off here and jump straight into a cool new website that someone on Twitter has made. Followed them for a little while way back when Hive was starting up. Parian, right there, created with love. Love is pretty important when baking, right? So it's also important when creating projects. So by Parian, if I'm butchering the name, apologies. I have absolutely no idea if that's right or wrong, but check them out here. Of course, I'll have the website here down in the description. You create an account and you can put in your node projects here, the transactions and all that to keep track of everything going on with your projects. Just check this out here so you can add your new nodes there, and you can see a list of all my projects here on the left and their estimated daily rewards, right? At least for today. Of course, we all know that changes like minute to minute, second to second. So tomorrow, there's no telling what that number is going to be. I'll tell you, probably a week ago, this was like 30 bucks. So food for thought there, right? I got a nice pretty graph here to show you the current values. Well, not all current, but the values over time. Of course, it goes back as at a week, I guess. But anyway, it shows you the valuation over time. So you can see those. And of course, the overall information here, you can see, and I'm going to hit the actual node projects in a second individually, but you can see right now it says I have about $640 of unclaimed rewards value out there across the projects. Of course, you have to keep this. This is not automated, by the way. You do have to input this in. Looking forward to when an automated version comes out, but that is neither here nor there. So shows you all my nodes owned. Some of that's not entirely accurate just due to the way that some of these are tracked on here, but that's not a big deal. You can see my net investment return versus my actual investment. So right now I've got about 6,600 that I've invested into this, and I've only gotten back about 1,300, almost $1,400. So 80% right now, unfortunately, is outstanding for ROI. So I need another 80% back, that 5,200 to get back to basically break even. And then it'll be smooth skating from there if that actually pans out. Now, of course, we all know this days to positive ROI. Right now, at this very second, it says 182. We know in another second that could change to 184 because of the valuation of the tokens going down over time. So, anyways, this is all just up in the air, right? This is at least the information I'd look at up here, but the positive ROI date and the days to ROI, that doesn't mean much of anything to me because we all know that's changing. Here's how we're going to do this. I want to hit up what I call my fake nodes first. I believe you all know what I mean by that. We're going to hit those up first. These are, of course, lava. It says mead there, but that's actually the tavern. Thor, Vapor, and Power and Horde. We're going to hit those up first, and I'm going to hit up Flux last, as well as a project not on here. Yield nodes, they don't have that in here yet, so it's not available for me to add. We'll hit that one up with Flux at the very end. All right, so first we're going to hit, we'll call it the Big Daddy, at least for me. We're going to talk Thor first. So I got into Thor back, that's my first node project, by the way, that I ever got in. This was in my, we'll call it my baby state. I was still a baby in crypto, DeFi period, at least in my mind. And to be fair, I am probably still a baby. But definitely was at the time that I got in, definitely not a lot of knowledge. It was definitely a FOMO investment. Now, I'm still okay with this investment now. If I look back, I wish I would have gotten in at a better price, but that's just the way these things go, right? So that would have been a guess either way, but at least for now, I am okay with this project to some extent. So anyways, you can see the price there. The price is way, way, way bad right now. The markets are impacting all of these, like I said, but Thor has got its own problems. Right now, it's all about sell pressure. They don't have use cases right now generating additional profit for the token in order to stabilize that token and drive it back up. So sell pressure is killing that price. It was, I'd say 20 to $10 somewhere in there for a little while. Last month, they did some stuff that controlled it there between taxes, between some other things. But anyways, they have a lot that's going on with this project right now. I'd say the major items, I don't want to go into details on all this, by the way, so this is going to be very high level. Thor right now is trying to get pay to earn. The game that they're trying to put out that's hopefully going to provide additional revenue. So that's their use case. That pay to earn game, I believe, is scheduled to come out at the end of the month. Is that right? Uh, I'll be honest, I'm not staying on top of that. I'm not in the game. I don't plan on getting in the game. I don't have time for it. But they've gone through the NFT sales right now. So those sales are actually happening right now. But the game itself is not launched. So the NFTs, of course, represent your character in the game, and you mint those, and I think it's random, one of four to match up with the four types of nodes that they offer. But anyways, I own several THOR nodes. I believe there's a four, and I can make one right now, another one, but there's a bug that's making me hold back. And I own a tiny one, a little Heimdall. So anyways, I own all those. I'm waiting for this pay to earn game to see where that takes it. But right now, I am far from having earned my money back. And like I said, I got back in, FOMO'd in, got in at a bad price, at least in comparison to where we are now. So you can see right now, it's just under $2,000 that I've invested in this. So I bought a Thor node and a Heimdall at a higher price, and the rest has been all compounding. So I've just compounded trying to wait till I could get better returns off of this. And that may be a terrible idea, just so you know. I don't know if what I'm doing is going to pan out at this point. I've taken it in my mind that this is a loss and I'm not going to get it back. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying that that sets me at ease to feel better rather than just, I don't know, rather than just being positive on it. Uh, I'm trying to be a little bit more realist on this perspective. So, anyways, uh, that's where it's at right now. They are going to release an updated DApp, you know, decentralized application or whatever you want to call it. The front end UI is going to be completely redone. It looks pretty good with the previews they've given. I don't know that that's going to be what it's going to take to get them to have more investors. The market impact may completely shun that off. It may have no impact whatsoever, but I hope the guys pull it off. I'm rooting for them. I hope the game is everything that it's being pushed to be and it brings in some revenue and people enjoy the game as well. Anyways, that's it for Thor. Behind and trying to push forward and make a little profit off this. At least I'd love to break even if nothing else, but yeah. So power is the next one that we're going to talk about now. Power is my second FOMO. I was a baby in crypto and DeFi and nodes and whatever you want to call it. I wish I had not gotten into power. I will be upfront about that now. I look back. This is one I would have said, no way would I've ever gotten into this one. You can see right now, what is it? 2,079 days to recoup what I invested. I invested like literally right at the point where it seemed like it was going to stabilize and it had to drop again. And it has dropped way, way past that now with the markets and everything else. But they just they don't have a lot of use cases out there. I think passive poker is what a lot of these projects have looked at as one of the initial items to try to generate profits. And I don't think that's enough. Not at all. So just saying that with a word of caution here. Again, I said not financial advice. These are my opinions on this. I don't think I'm ever going to get back what I put into power. So it's just a wash at this point. So you can see, what is it? 626 is what it says that I have remaining. And I invested 682. So yeah, I got back a little bit. I had one claim, but not going to get back there now, especially with these prices here. So anyways, that's all I can say for power. You know, I hope it pans out as well, but I don't have a lot of confidence on this one. I am far underwater on power. All right, so next one we're going to talk about is going to be Vapor. I like Vapor. The price is horrible like everything else right now. You can see I am down 253. So spot on exactly what I invested. I have not pulled anything and I don't intend to pull anything on this one because it's too tiny, but this is also more of a long game. I'm hedging some bets here and it could go to zero. I could lose every bit of this, but I like where they're going with Vapor Chain and Vapor Dex. You know, standing up that environment, hopefully to pull in projects on their own chain. That is an awesome idea for sources or revenue to come in. This is just like the idea of strong chain and where strong is going. Um, these guys have some lofty goals. They have some very high viewpoints they're taking on this. Is it going to pan out? I have no idea, but they are making strides and they are working at it and building that chain out now. So they've already got some stuff in place. You know, spoilers. They've shown pictures of this out there. So I hope this pans out and I hope to get this back. So I'm invested in this for hopefully something to come. But again, if this goes to zero, I'm okay with that. I'm prepared to lose all of these if that were to work that way. But anyways, so that's where I'm at on Vapor. The next one we're gonna hit up is Mead. All right, so I'm gonna label this, and I'm not saying that I know everything there is to know. I am far from it. Just remember, I'm just a dude making videos on the internet, on YouTube, right? So this is just my perspective is I think when I got into Mead, and Mead was back in, I don't know, back at the end of March, or maybe the beginning of March. I think at that point I had found my footing. I'd stopped the FOMO stuff altogether, and I invested in this one because I believed that I was actually going to make some money back on it. Um, Now I still do that now, and that's not always going to be the case for all these projects. But Mead, I finally did well on a project. I quickly got back my funding that I put in, my investment, and have since made money on it. You know, stop making bad decisions. I guess I'd say that I knew were bad decisions from the get go, or at least ignorant decisions. Um, so I did well on, and it's not Mead again. This is the Tavern. Mead is the token. I've done well on this project. I pulled out right now, it says, and there's actually more that I pulled out on this, by the way, but I can't put in all the liquidity pool staking stuff that I did. I had some other stuff there. I sold the token. I bought some of it and sold it for a profit. There's some stuff missing here. I've made quite a bit more than what is showing here. So right now I've made about 727, according to that, in profit. I've actually made way more than that. So I'm doing really well on this one, but at least have recouped what I put in and made some. So right now it is not doing well. There's no use cases for this project that have come out. They are talking about a use case right now, trying to find additional ways. A lot of it's casino type stuff, which, gets into regulations. And so, anyways, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, I think, but I don't know if any of that's going to pan out. So just waiting on this. That token was way, way higher in value, a month ago, but that's the way these work. I'll say it again, just as a kind of in between here. A lot of this is still Ponzi-nomics, as I mentioned in that video that I referenced up there again. They're still trying to find their bridge from Ponzi-nomics, where you start at with a lot of these, into real revenue generation so they can be I will say, a legit platform. And I'm not saying they're not legit over when they start, but they've got to get away from Ponzi-nomics to sustain themselves. So that's where I use that verbiage. All right. So Tavern, like I said, I feel really good about that one, where I've been going, and I'm still technically earning off of it right now. So next up, we're going to talk about Horde, and Horde is my favorite of all the fake nodes. It pushes a little bit with the real nodes right now because I like what they're doing and I like where they're going with their project. Some of the protocol stuff that they're doing and how they're making this work in this project is really cool, and it's everything there is to say about this project with how they're controlling the price action. Check out the card right up here. I've got a couple videos on Horde up here. You can go understand the project and how it works and why it's maintaining its price for the token, or at least in a range. So anyways, I haven't made my money back from Horde yet, but literally, if you look at it right now, if I go sell my tokens right now, I will be extremely close right now to making my money back on Horde. I only put in $500 on Horde. I only bought one plot. That's their node name that they use. I wanted to put in more, but stuff happened with the launch. The transaction was denied, and I never put in any more. Although I'm thinking about it now, buying some more of these plots, these nodes. But anyways, I could technically break even right now, or very close to it. It's a little bit more than 460 that's sitting there, so I don't know exactly why that's showing that. I may have an error in here, but it's not super far off. But anyways, uh, we'll do that soon. Really like this project again because of how they're handling the protocol with the price control. That actually helps with the market panic and all that you see right now going on in the markets. The fear, the capitulation that happens whether you're in crypto or in stocks, etc., right? With all of these bear market periods. Okay, so my last fake node project is Lava Financial. Um, that launched, maybe 4 weeks ago. I don't remember now, but it's the freshest one, we'll say, that I've been in. I like Lava. The price is not doing well, both probably for various reasons with the protocol, but also the markets are just taking a hit all over the place. People aren't buying in. I will say they've had less buy pressure than I was hoping for, but the reason I like it isn't because of that. Their entire protocol is looking at use cases before they even launch with revenue generation. So they have a phased approach that they're looking at. You can check all that out in my lava video that I did right up here. I like the project where they're going. I think they're actually looking at getting away from that Ponzi-nomics from before launch, and that's the reason that I believe that they have a chance. Now, again, it could go to zero tomorrow, so don't follow this guy. I'm just giving you my perspective and what I know about the projects. So I've hedged a bet, you can say, with lava because I like them. But anyways, so you can see what I put in there. I've taken no profits yet. Um, I may start to at some point, but with the price going down, I'm kind of hesitant to. Like to just get some nodes sitting out there because those nodes are obviously going to generate me profit. And when revenue generation kicks in, I will get a portion of that revenue, is the idea, if it all pans out. Anyways, all right, so enough about all those. Now we move on to my real nodes, is what I'm going to call it. And no offense meant to real and fake. Um, I say real nodes because they have real use cases. They are doing real work out there. In some sense, Flux, of course, provides the Web3 side on the decentralized application perspective. And then Yield Nodes actually creates real master nodes that do processing of transactions on blockchains and a whole lot of other stuff. I'm not going to get into all that. So let's hit up Flux first. I really do like Flux. Again, it's right now, I'd say it's tied with Horde, and it's not because I don't like Flux a lot. I would like to get more Flux nodes. Um, I just don't like the price right now, but the price is being affected by the markets. Uh, I have one Flux node. You do not lose these tokens. I have them staked to create a Web3 node called a Cumulus node, and it earns back Flux every particular cadence, which is changing. There's a lot of those nodes out there. I think it's like 11 days right now or something. I get back some of my flux or earn flux. And anyways, so great project. I'm earning now. I haven't lost anything technically with this project, at least at this time. But you can see I invested about $1,300 to buy those tokens. Um, so right now I'm just waiting for the markets to correct. I'm not going to get rid of this. This is actually hosted on a VPS. I'm going to keep this going. I have no intent of this stopping because I think Flux is here for the long haul. Web3, I think, is a very, very important, I don't know what to call that, a very important next step in where things are going as we get away from Web2 and getting away from that controlled environment that Web2 is. Anyways, I like the future of Flux. I'm not earning anything right now beyond the additional Flux. I haven't cashed out, but I am net negative right now if you just looked at the value of my tokens. But as we all know, you haven't lost anything until you've sold it, right? So I feel really good about it, and I'm sure I was technically already in profit. I think I've earned about token wise, I think I've earned like 50 Flux tokens, and then there are some parallel mining assets, which this gets into some complicated territory that I don't want to do in this video, but I have some additional flux on other chains that is what that basically is talking to that I haven't actually pulled yet. They're just sitting over there waiting for me to claim them. So there's even more beyond the 50 is my point. Maybe it's closer to 75, I'll say. So anyways, I've got 75 Flux. I invested 1,000, and this is going to continue to run. This was back in March, by the way, when I invested in Flux, when they did the halvening, or they made the node requirements for tokens smaller. So easier for anybody to get in now, much cheaper than it was. And I would say right now, specifically, if you want to get into a real node project, this is a good one right now for you to buy up those tokens at a way, way cheaper price. So you can see right now it's going to be, what is it? It's a little over 600 bucks to get 1,000 tokens at that price that we're seeing. So anyways, it was closer to, buck 50, buck 30, something like that. I don't know, remember, but somewhere up there. Well, I guess we could do the simple math, right? So it looks like it was a buck 35 whenever I originally invested in this, and it's gone all the way up to almost $2, I think. Came back down, and of course now we'll see where it goes after this. But like the project a lot, and so that's all I got to say about Flux. And my last real node project, and it's really a bunch of nodes, is Yield Nodes. So I did a video on that. Go check that out if you want to know more about Yield Nodes right up there. So it is basically real nodes, real master nodes at that, the higher level node you see on a blockchain. They own several projects and are involved in several projects, different groups of people, but underneath Yield Nodes. And they basically create master nodes, do work on the blockchain essentially as the summation of it. And whatever you invest, it is sitting there making you back returns monthly. So they'll, of course, do the numbers. They'll find out how much they've made with these master nodes, and they basically disperse that. So you're basically doing a shared owning of master node valuation earnings back across everybody else that is invested inside of Yield Nodes. Pretty cool that you can basically, you're just sharing node ownership with other people based on what you put in, and you earn back a percentage of those profits. And so I guess a good example is about 10% is the average, but it's been closer to 8% per month, which is still really, really good because you aren't losing that initial capital that you put in. But anyway, so I can't show it on here like I said, but right now I am compounding. I'm not actually taking those earnings. and I've done really well. I plan on compounding more, and you can see that all in that video that I linked up there. But that's kind of it. So go check out my video right up here. I talked about node seasons, where we are. Like, are you underwater is specifically what I was talking about on your nodes, and why I think the state of the node market is just not in a good place right now, but how I think they're also trying to get out of it to move from that Ponzi-nomics over to real revenue generation. That's really where they're trying to get. That's where I think DeFi in general is trying to find its footing and find out what does and doesn't work, because this is all very exploratory. It's a science experiment. So we're just living it out and finding out what does and doesn't work with our own money. Now that's not really the safest feeling, am I right? But if you want to be involved in this, that's exactly how this is working right now in some cases, and there's money to be made and there's money to be lost, right? So, anyways, as far as other node projects, I did want to mention I'm looking at right now two other node projects, Aleph Finance and Valify. So I like both of those. I'm not going to go into any details, but those are the only two other projects I'm looking at. I would say right now, in general, I'm not getting into a lot of node projects. I think we have started to hit that plateau. And honestly, right now with markets, we have definitely found if there wasn't going to be a plateau, there was going to be one with the markets the way they are right now. So I think you're still going to see node projects popping up, but I'm a little bit more leery with getting into some of these with everything from rugs to very bad projects to projects that don't have a good plan to move into revenue generation. So all that amongst the market problems kind of lead me into I won't be adding a bunch to this, but that's okay. I would say real nodes. I am probably looking into more real nodes. I shouldn't say none of them. These are specifically the ones I'm talking about here. The Valify and the Aleph Finance aren't technically real nodes when I call them that. Pre-search is one that I've looked at that I just never have gotten into, but I'm interested in that one amongst some other real node projects out there that are doing work on the blockchain, or at least work around the blockchain. But anyways, again, I hope if you are suffering through these market times, if you are literally just at the point where you've lost like 95% of your investments and you're struggling to pay bills, etc., like that, reach out to me in comments, email me, feel free. You know, have somebody to talk to. I hope you have other people. I'm sure, I'm just offering if you don't have somebody to talk to. These are rough times, but I hope that you got something out of this. I know this isn't really the scope of where we are right now, but I wanted to do the update video anyways, and I hope that you can find footing back to get through this, whoever you are, wherever you are in this, as we move, hopefully, at some point out of a bear market or a crash, whatever you want to call this situation we're in, as we move into, hopefully, another bull market. Hope you find the footing and move out of this and head back up. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, I hope you actually hit that like button. And of course, if you want to show me even more support, please hit that sub button and that notification bell so you aren't losing my videos out there in the YouTube space and they keep them hidden from you. With that being said, hope you have a great day and I will see you in the next video.